Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. We are on the back patio. That's the lanai. I don't know what you call it, but the reason we're out here is because I'm recording this on Mother's Day. So if you are a mom or you have a mom, happy Mother's Day. Or if you act as a mom to someone. I am working on a project or a set of projects that have nothing to do with yarn. That I saw and I fell down the rabbit hole, and it's something that I wanted for Mother's Day, and it's something that we're working on. Well, mostly it's been me and Juju, but Mr. Cinnamon has something he's working on too. So we're going to show that as part of Monday Makes, because it's Monday, and on Monday we show what we've been making and working on for the past 7 days, give or take. I have not made a lot when it comes to crochet or yarn-like products, because there's been a lot going on this week. Had to go pick up my niece and bring her home from college early because she had a medical emergency, and she is home and she is fine. And what else is going on? It's just been it's been a lot going on this week. Just like I recorded a tutorial I was not planning on doing. So that will be coming up this week. Matter of fact, the shawl that I said was not going to be a tutorial is going to be a tutorial. This is the shawl that we have made in the tutorial. This is going to be the Miss Libby shawl. This one is made out of Karen cotton cakes. The light out here is not real great because it's like super bright. It's super bright. Let's try to turn a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. The sun is blowing it out, but now I'm making, and yes, I have a Christmas shirt on because I wore it to bed and I'm not dressed yet. So we're just gonna pretend I look beautiful. It's Mother's Day. I'm staying in my pajamas all day. So this is the one we made for the tutorial. This is the one I'm actually making for Little Man's Teacher. I started off using, now in the tutorial, this is a 4-weight. I've made 2 of these shawls out of a 4-weight. This is, it says it's a sport weight, but I'm telling you it's a fingering. I tell you how to adjust it so you can make it out of any type of yarn that you want to make it out of. It will just, you just need to alter how many rows you do. So I started this, and that's pretty though. I'll show you what yarn this is in a minute. I started this off with a, and this is so funny because I was just telling you guys, I did the video on the prim hooks and the Hobby Lobby hooks. This is the prim hook. It's plastic. Why do I look out of focus? Am I in focus? We'll figure it out. Alright. If I was blurry, I apologize. I don't have my glasses on, I can't see. So, this is the prim hook. I started off using a Furls Odyssey hook, which I used to love Furls Odyssey. I still like them. They're still, I'm never going to get rid of them. But I'm finding that with certain yarns, the Furls Odyssey hooks do not work out at all. So that was the case with this. This is a cotton yarn, but it's a very splitty cotton yarn because it's made out of strands of, let's see if that works. The focus is in a weird mode. It's just like strands of, 4 strands of thread basically held together. And I was fighting the yarn so much with the metal hook. So I switched over to the prim because it's the same size hook. I think it's an E hook. I just lost a stitch. And it made all of the difference in the world switching to this hook. Because it wasn't splitting anymore. I wasn't splitting the yarn open. I wasn't snagging. And so it sped up a lot. I really need a stitch marker in there. So it's these beautiful colors. The yarn that I'm using is Hobie Dahlia, which ironically enough is something else I did, is I planted a bunch of dahlias. Now it says that it's a fine 2 weight, but I'm telling you it's a 1. It's 874 yards, 100% cotton. This one was made with a Karen cotton cake, which was only 500 and something yards. So this one's gonna be, it's gonna be different because it's gonna have more yarn in it, but also it's much thinner. So it's gonna be a whole different project. I mean, it's the same stitches, it's the same pattern, the same design, but it is very much going to look different because it's different yarn. And that's the whole point of me doing the tutorial in a 4 weight, but still showing you that. I will show that when it's complete. The Miss Libby shawl will be done sometime this, well, I already finished the tutorial, but the tutorial will be up sometime this week. And like I said, I planted dahlias yesterday because we had a slight break in the weather to where it's been raining non-stop, rain. And we had a slight break in the weather yesterday, so I was able to get out here, and some of these pots back here have dahlias in them and some of the pots are empty, and so I need to buy some small flowers for the smaller pots. And I also weeded my front garden. If you guys remember, we built that natural rock garden in the front yard where we ripped out the bushes, and I planted tulips, daffodils, and hyacinths for the springtime, and I went in there and I threw some dahlias in for the summertime. And when the tulips start to die back a little bit more, because they're still kind of green, which is very unusual, but the weather has been very mild. I also planted them a little bit late, so they're late dying off. They're still kind of on the green side, but when they start to yellow, I will put some more, probably put some annuals in the front, something that dies off. All right, now, the thing that we're out here for, the reason we're in the backyard is because I saw a video and it popped up in my feed, and it was a very random video. And she was showing that she was making these flowers, we're calling them flowers, for the garden. And they were made out of glass that she thrifted, okay? These are not finished. They are in their first stage of process. This is Thrifted Crystal from the thrift store. I believe this back part, does this not look like a daffodil? This back part is, I believe, Mikasa. It's got reindeer on it, but I don't care. And of course, my battery's dead because, I mean, why would it not be? Hang on. Alright. Every single battery, it seems, in my arsenal is dead, even though I just charged them and I'm having difficulties with my brand new battery charger. So, I have to order another one. Alright, so, this is a candle holder. This is a Mikasa Christmas. Mr. Cinnamon actually picked this one out because it has the really beautiful flowery looking edges. I picked out the candle holder. We did not get any of this at Goodwill because Goodwill is ridiculously overpriced. So for something like this would have been $6, $7, maybe $8. This probably would have been closer to $3 at the Dollar Tree. Not the Dollar Tree, the Goodwill. I have watched Goodwill's prices just skyrocket over the past couple years, predominantly since the pandemic, which is ridiculous because the pandemic should have brought prices down because more people were cleaning because they were bored and they were at home, and there was way higher instances of donations, so they jacked the price up. Figure that one out. So this is one that Juju made. These will get, this one's probably not going to get this big glass bottle, but this glass bottle is Anchor Hawking. I got this at the $1.25 tree. It is very solid. You attach a glass bottle to the back, and then you put this over a piece of rebar, or we actually got, you can see right here, copper tubing for a grand total of $7 for 12 feet of copper tubing, and I think there's rebar up there as well from the Habitat for Humanity Restore. Everything has been thrifted. Everything I'm showing you has been thrifted. I don't remember how much these two pieces cost, but I got these. One of them I got at St. Vincent de Paul because they still have okay prices. And then this was an independent thrift store called Retail. T-A-I-L. This is the one I made. Mine's a little bit more intricate. This one's going to get a glass bottle on the back. And it's going to go on the copper tubing probably. Now, this was a cake plate. This was a cake plate that had a hole in it that was attached to actual silver. This cake plate cost me $6.50. And I know that that's real silver because it's tarnished and it smells like real silver. And if you know what real silver smells like, that's what that smells like. So the plate, very intricate design, is a cake plate. So this was underneath it, screwed on. The bolt was all rusty and gross. I gave it a nice little cleaned up. This bowl right here, I'm thinking was a candy dish from, I want to say, a tourist town, because underneath where these glass beads from the $1.25 tree are, there was little medallions with the Liberty Bell. It looked like the torch from the Statue of Liberty. I believe a president. Like, those were all little monument pictures. So I covered them up with little glass beads from the $1.25 tree. Okay. In here was a set of 4 dishes. And again, it has the fluted edges so that it looks like a flower. These were a pack of 4 for, I don't know, like $2, $3. And then this is a candle holder that I tipped upside down to look like a flute or a stamen or a pistol or whatever. And the reason I designed this one this way is because I wanted the color to shine through from the sun. Yeah, let's see if we can turn you a little bit so you can really see the sun hitting it. Okay. It's going to go like this in the garden. And it reminds me of the flowers from Alice in Wonderland. That's why I designed it this way. It reminds me of the flowers from Alice in Wonderland. And I think it's beautiful. Now I'm debating these little circle spots right here, putting some more beads back there to add color all the way around, because when the sun hits that, it's going to be beautiful. I also found plastic diamonds that I could adhere to this in blue and red. Haven't decided yet, but I think it's absolutely beautiful and very flower-esque. Mr. Cinnamon has not put his together yet. These are the pieces he chose. Got the green flowery, very flower-like. This pink crystal dish. He insisted on having that one because he really fell in love with it. And then this cake plate. So, don't know exactly how he's planning or what he sees in the vision of that. But I was putting the pieces together trying to figure it out. And he has different ideas than I have. I think it will be beautiful though. I'm going to back you up so I can grab something off the table. This Juju made one. I do have a couple of pieces left over. Pardon my reach. This is the one Juju designed. She also made the first one I showed you, but she also made this one, which I think is so pretty. So this is the set of 4 glass bowls that I used in mine as well. This is a light cover for a ceiling fan. And this is a Mikasa bowl with grapes. Isn't that pretty? Now I was looking for some cobalt glass because the blue would be gorgeous with the light shining through it. I didn't find any. I found a beautiful red bowl that I wanted, but they wanted $20 for it at St. Vincent de Paul, and I was not willing to pay the $20 to do this with it. So I don't think anything we bought, I think the pink bowl Mr. Cinnamon bought was the most expensive. It was $10. Everything else was closer to $4 or $5, maybe $6 for the bigger pieces. I think he might have paid $10 for this too. So his is going to be the most expensive. I was thinking like he could do something with this and put something in the middle here. But it would have to be something skinny that would fit in there, like the red candle holder that I used would be pretty, because nothing else would really fit. And it'd be kind of like tacky if you do it the wrong way. But I think what he's thinking is this is going to be the back, and he's going to put the stuff on the front. Now, the lady at St. Vincent de Paul was very upset that there wasn't going to be a beautiful cake on this. I told her, no, it's going to be in my garden. But think of it this way, and I know some of you are going to be like, why would you waste such beautiful glassware in the garden? It's sitting on a shelf collecting dust. And at retail specifically, some of the items we bought, she said that has been here for a very long time. Nobody's buying it. So I'm turning it into art. Does it make sense to everybody? Probably not. But I can't think of a more beautiful way to honor this gorgeous glassware than to turn it into something beautiful in the garden that the sun is going to shine on and people are going to walk by and go, wow, that's really beautiful. Now, I did grab some pieces that I thought maybe I would use that are left over that might get put to a future project. This one I thought would be beautiful as the center of one of the flowers, but it's square. And now that I have it, I'm like, well, I don't have a use for it right now, so it's going to put... These are some of the plastic gems we got from the dollar store. They're red and blue. And I was thinking... Because remember I showed you on my plate? My plate had the little circles. Some of the stuff Mr. Cinnamon bought does too. But I was thinking if you put the gems in... Or you throw them on the floor, the light will shine through them. And it will be really pretty. And his also has spots for gems. And I don't care that they're plastic, because nobody's going to go up and go, oh, those are plastic. But I was thinking about using some of those. Juju thinks it'll be too much color, but if I am nothing, I am eccentric. So we got some of those. And I think that little glass dish is really pretty. And then we, of course, have one of the fluted ones left over. And I used some of these to divide up the glass beads. There are videos on the internet on how to make these. We also got epoxy from the dollar store, but the epoxy had so little epoxy in it from the dollar store that it actually probably would have been more cost effective to buy a bigger tube of epoxy from the hardware store. But as you can see, like, I've held all of these sideways. They cured overnight. Like, they're not going anywhere. They're solid. I don't know how they're going to hold up long term in the heat from this area, but like, they're on there. They're not going anywhere. And the one I made is pretty heavy. It's not going, that would be a pretty cake plate, wouldn't it? Had I not taken it from a cake plate and made it something else. Or like a beautiful, like if this wasn't so heavy, this would be a gorgeous light fixture. But I can't wait to have this displayed in my garden. I think it is the prettiest thing ever. I kind of got like obsessed when I saw a couple videos. And I was like, I need to do that. That's all I want for Mother's Day. And I know that they all got me something special. Mr. Cinnamon's cooking me breakfast as we speak. I know that there's more planned for just Mother's Day, but really, I'm so excited that we got to do this. It's all I wanted. It's all I wanted for Mother's Day was to sit down and craft and make something beautiful. And these bottles are so nice. Like I said, they're Anchor Hocking. They had a big Anchor Hocking sticker on them. $1.25 tree. And they're going to serve the purpose to hold my beautiful things onto the copper tubing up there. And we're gonna hammer those into the ground first. I gotta buy some more epoxy because I used all the Dollar Tree epoxy. We're gonna adhere these to the cake plates, to the glass flowers, and then these will just slip over the tube. And because these are so long, have such a long neck, it's not gonna wobble around a whole lot because the tubing we bought is like perfect size for that.
Sweetums.
You're on camera.
Would you like a beverage?
Not right now.
Love you.
Love you. He doesn't have a shirt on and he does not do that. So the fact that he popped away. He's like, nope, I'm gonna hide. I don't know if you guys could see him or not. It doesn't look like you could, but yeah, no, I don't think he actually was on camera. Because that's the back door. That was funny. He popped out and he didn't have a shirt on. And my boy is white. He's like, he sparkles. He's so white. And so I told him he's on camera. He like backed up back into the camera thing. Or into the door frame. So me and Juju sat yesterday, and it actually started raining while we were working on those, and we sat out here at the table. I got my big crafting table out here that you guys saw that I was dyeing yarn on, or the fluff, and I put it under the gazebo thing so that we didn't get rained on, because it really needed to be something that was done outside. And then we got these little plastic things to mix the epoxy in, and popsicle sticks, also from the Dollar Tree. The epoxy smells like dog doo-doo. It's, oh my god, it's so bad. Like really, really strong. And it was so strong of the scent of dog doo-doo. Like the dogs were like, oh, what is that? Because you know dogs are gross. They're, what is that? What is that? They're wanting to smell it and get in there. And I was like, okay. So first of all, this needs to be thrown outside away from where the dogs can get into it. Because I can imagine them thinking, of course, she's going to weed whack right now. Like, why would she not? I didn't want them getting into it and getting sick because, I mean, we know how my dogs are. They get into everything. So, that's what I have made so far this week. I'm really excited to, where's my phone? It's in my pocket. I'm really excited to show you guys those when they're done and they're hanging in the garden. I will post pictures in the community tab and probably in the Facebook. This week, we got a lot of exciting stuff happening. I got some really cool happy mail that we're going to show. And if there's background noise, I apologize for the neighbors. They pick the worst times to do stuff. And then I'm going to try tomorrow, while you're watching this video, I'm going to try to dye some more fluff for a video. And then we have the tutorial. And I got a new crochet hook that I want to show you guys, which is really a cool crochet hook. And yeah, I think that those will be the videos for this week. Lots of exciting things coming up. I also ordered myself a book from Amazon, a crochet book, and I thought it was Crochet Stitches, and I think I ordered the wrong book because it's beginner crochet and it's like telling me everything I already know. So it's probably going to be a send back situation or a pass it on to somebody else because the book was only like $4. I really thought it was a stitch, but I just wanted another stitch dictionary because the one that I have, I don't like it as much as I used to like it because a lot of times when you're starting, like I want to see what the edges of the stitch looks like, not just the center of the blanket. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what that first row is supposed to look like as opposed to 5 rows up and you're showing like the perfect part of it. I want to know what the edges look like. And I don't know, my stitch dictionaries don't show you like a sample that is a reasonable size so you can see all the way around what it should look like. I don't know why they don't do that. Because to me, that's more helpful than just showing me the central set. Like, I want to see pictures. I'm a visual learner. We also, last night, because I also, on Monday Makes, I also talk about blogs about what we've been doing. Like I said, it's early Sunday still. It's all of 10:30. We haven't had breakfast yet. Mr. Cinnamon's working on it. I'm going to finish making these glass flowers today, which means I have to go buy more epoxy. And probably get those into the ground, I hope. Although they have to cure overnight, so that's probably not going to happen today. Maybe tomorrow we'll do that. And this weekend, if you don't know, in most of Northern America, there was the Aurora borealis, or the northern lights, were visible really far south, including here in Virginia where I live. I think Hannah from Cozy Cottage Crochet said she also saw it in Florida, which is insane to me that the northern lights were visible there. Well, I was already asleep when Mr. Cinnamon found out the Aurora borealis was visible. So he comes in the room and he's all, Jen, the Aurora borealis is visible. I was like, yeah, okay. And then I went back to sleep. Scarlett is always barking. Like, she is the mouth. Aren't you? Aren't you a sassy girl? Alright, so I was not interested. I was tired. Well, the next morning I woke up and I saw all these pictures all over Facebook of all these people with these colorful Aurora borealis pictures. And I was like, well, I missed out. And I was upset. And Mr. Cinnamon has never seen the northern lights. I saw the northern lights when I was about, I want to say 10. I saw them in northern Michigan. I saw the back door opened. And it was not spectacular. It was not a very colorful show. It literally looked like just lights doing this in the sky from my memory. It was not, I was like, whatever. Like, I didn't care. I was 10. And I was 10 like little man is 10. Like, I just didn't care about stuff like that. And Mr. Cinnamon has always wanted to see the northern lights. So last night he was excited there might have been a second chance to see them. So he's like, let's go drive up to the mountain because it was going to be really cloudy here. It had rained almost all day. He's all, let's go drive up to the mountain. We had just been over the mountain the day before to go pick up my niece from college, which I had to do most of her packing for her because she was deathly sick. And so, yeah, I was tired. I was hurting real bad, like my neck and my shoulder. I jacked it up somehow, lifting heavy stuff and all that crap. So he's all, let's go up to the mountain. I was like, cool. Like, I'm always up for an adventure. I am always up for an adventure. You ask me, do you want to go? The answer is almost always yes. Let's go. Let's go on an adventure. Let's go for a drive. I specifically like night driving. There's less people. But I don't like backcountry roads at night because my vision is really jacked up lately. Like, I'm having a real hard time seeing. And I have real bad night blindness recently. And so, on top of that, I also get dizzy going in the mountains because I have inner ear issues. And so, I wasn't feeling real hot. And then the pain in my neck and my shoulder was so severe that Motrin wasn't touching it. And I was exhausted because I had weeded my garden bed. I planted dahlias in the front and the backyard. I worked on all the glass stuff yesterday. On top of that, we went shopping at several thrift stores looking for the glassware, which, you know, takes a toll on you. It was exciting, it was fun, but like I was tired. So I pull out my big camera, not this one, because this is still a pretty expensive camera, but like my big camera, which is pretty expensive, from when in my past life when I was a photographer. I brought out the tripod. We drove up to the mountain. We got there around 10 o'clock and there were people everywhere hoping to see the Aurora borealis. I mean, there were so many people in there. Now, what you don't know is that you can actually sneak into the national parks at night because there's nobody at the guard gates. And so it doesn't actually cost you anything, which was a benefit to us. So we got in and we went after, because they have all these outlooks where you could park. And it was just packed with people. Outlook after outlook after outlook. And we finally found one where there's a parking spot. So we pull in, set up my camera. The kids have blankets and pillows. They're in the bed of the truck. They're being loud and obnoxious. All three of them. 9, almost 10. 18, almost 19, and 20. Set up. There's a lot of people there. People there with cameras. There's a lot of clouds. And at some point, and I don't have the pictures on my phone because they're still on my big camera. I will show you the crappy cell phone photographs that I took. This is our view from, actually you can't even see it because we're outside and there's glare. Okay. I will try to pop up pictures. I will try to get some pictures on my phone and edit this video. We had a view of the city below, which is sparkly with lights, but it was also in a dark area of the park, so it was really dark when the headlights weren't on from all the cars going by. You could see the mountains in the background. The cloud cover was pretty because I know how to work my camera enough that I could take pictures of the sky at night and it almost looked like it's daylight. I got some pictures of the stars in the sky. It was beautiful. It was chilly. Mr. Cinnamon told everybody bring blankets. It's gonna be cold. He didn't bring a coat. Once again, this is the wool fest all over again. I had my hoodie on. I was warm. I was like, I'm warm. And he's like, I'm freezing. And one of the kids had brought an extra blanket. I was like, do you want a blanket? Yeah, so he's all wrapped up in his little blanket. It was kind of cute. I took a handful of photographs. We stayed for probably 2 hours. We watched the clouds roll and roll out, roll in, roll out. And I was like, all right, I've had enough. Like, I'm tired. It's not coming. And it's not going to be tonight. Like, it's just, there's nothing on the sky. It's just dark. And what we did see, however, was flashes of light constantly. And it wasn't like traditional lightning. It was as if someone was flashing a camera flash, like just above your head. Poof, poof, poof. I'm assuming that's effect of the northern lights. I don't know. Maybe it was just the extra electricity in there. I don't know. But electricity in there would be, I mean, it would make sense that the two would be combined. And it just occurred to me I left my lights on my gazebo all night. It's all right. I think Mr. Cinnamon is calling for breakfast, but it was a really beautiful night, and the kids were slightly irritating. They were obnoxious. The two ADHD kids get really irritating and obnoxious when they're tired, like really, really irritating. And there was a little bit of that going on. And I couldn't see where we were going, and Mr. Cinnamon was tired, so he was doing a little bit of the bob and weave when he was driving home, because we didn't get home till 1 o'clock a.m. And so parts of it was kind of crappy, and parts of it was like we went and had a good time, and it was an adventure, and it was a story, and it was a memory. And on the way home, little man goes, did we actually see the lights? I was like, no. But weren't we supposed to see the lights? Yeah, but they weren't there. And so I had to explain to him about how the northern lights work and solar flares and radiation and all that good stuff. And so he was like, oh, well, at least we got to see the mountains. And he got to get out in the middle of the night. Like, we don't do that very often anymore. It was something we did when we were younger. Me and Mr. Cinnamon were notorious for, let's go get in the car and go drive to Ohio for no reason. We lived in Michigan at the time. We would drive down to Ohio, hit the border, turn around, drive back. Because that was a really beautiful drive in the summertime. The weather would be cool. You'd have the windows down. We'd listen to the radio. And it's just something we did. You know, we didn't have money to do anything else. And we also worked down that way. So we worked at one of the police stations. I think it was Gibraltar. If you don't know where Gibraltar, Michigan is, you're not missing much. It's a very small police station, fire station. We cleaned some of I was in office. We did janitorial work. We cleaned offices and buildings and stuff, and I scrubbed toilets, and I could tell you things about men's urinals that you just would not want to know. So, for example, I don't know why men do this, but you will see a myriad of handprints directly above the urinal, as if every man puts his hand in the same spot, and it's like smeared. So there's a bunch of them like over, and it builds up grease, but you can clearly see his palm print right above the urinal. Just palm, 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 palm. Like every man leans. And Mr. Cinnamon goes, I don't know why they do that. I don't do that. Because I would complain at him like, why? Why is there so many handprints up there? Because I'm scrubbing the tiles to get the grease stains off from all the man handprint, and it's always the right hand. It's always the right hand. I don't know why. I don't know why. But yeah, that was like the worst job ever. I hated it. I hated it. And the amount of just rude people that thought, I'm going to destroy this room just to make sure you're cleaning it right. The amount of that crap that happened, oh my God, I can't tell you stories. People are just clearly, they have no respect. I'm cleaning up after you, but you're going to make a bigger mess. I don't understand that mentality at all. You're going to make a bigger mess so that I have to come clean up behind you. Clean up after yourself. That's why when I go to restaurants or anything, I don't leave the table dirty. I will clean up my area. I will clean up after my kids. It is not that busboy's job to come behind me and clean up after my kid. I mean, technically it's his job, but I'm not making his job harder than what it is. That's already a gross job. Do you know how many times they stick their finger in your plate with leftover food? Or Juju, she worked for a career center thing at her school. She worked in the food, I don't know what she called it. She was in the baking section. They made her a baker, but they also made her wait tables and stuff. And she said the cops were the worst to pick up after because they were pigs, literally. She said they were pigs. They wouldn't stop eating bacon, which I found hilarious. They had to keep making trays of bacon for the cops, which I just thought that was so funny. And she said one of the lady cops took her gum off and stuck it to the side of the plate. Glass plates. So Juju went to go pick it up, stuck her finger right in this lady's gum. Now think about chewing gum, okay? A lot of people chew gum instead of brushing their teeth, or they chew gum after a meal to freshen their breath. But think of all the nasty food particles that are in your teeth that now get stuck in that gum and you just stuck your finger in it. Don't do that. That's so gross. And tip your waitresses because they put up with a lot of crap from you. I'm just saying. The waiters and the waitresses are the first ones that get yelled at when the kitchen staff screws up. Think about that. That waitress didn't cook your food. She's bringing you your food. It's like you're literally yelling at your mom who just brought you a nice meal that she didn't do something right and she wasn't even the cook. I don't understand that. Tip your waitresses, folks. Tip your waiters. Treat them with respect. They're people. They work way too hard for way little bit of money. They deserve them tips. So, yeah. We went out to dinner one time with this family. They were more wealthy. They were way more wealthy than us. My dad knew the son, and we became friends. Like the families became friends. They very much looked down on us. And then my aunt ended up marrying into the family. So like we're kind of related to these people now. Although I think they're all dead. They were much older than my parents. But they had money. They knew they had money. They thought they were better than everyone else. And they were notorious for if the service wasn't perfect, they would put a penny on the table. And my mom would go behind. And my mom, who was we were broke as a joke. She would go behind these people who worked for, the husband worked at Ford Motor Company, but not like Ford Motor Company like I'm building cars. He's like in the offices. So he made bank. They lived in the Ritchie neighborhood. They had like 5 cars. Like they had money, okay? And the mom worked at a doctor's office. They had money. They came for money. Like they flaunted their money. Putting a penny on the table when you just had like a $500 meal, I don't understand that. So my mom would go behind because we did stuff with these people. Like we kind of were related at one point. Well, we still are, but we hung out with them. And my mom would go behind with my dad's $10 an hour job. And she would put $20-30 on the table. I've known my mom to tip $50 when we got our taxes. Because at tax time, like, she passed the blessings on to people. Just, I don't understand that mentality. Like, they just serve 7, 8, 9, 10 people, and you're going to leave a penny on the table for them. That's crappy. Don't do that. That's a lot of work waiting on all those people. Think about all think about when you're hosting a party or something. Forget about all of the cooking you have to do and the cleaning up afterwards. Think about how much energy it takes to make everybody have something on their plate that is delicious, or make sure that everybody's happy, or everybody has a seat. You know? And it's people you don't know. Alright, I'm done lecturing you guys, because most of you are good people and you don't do that. But yeah, I really, really am happy with what I was able to accomplish this week, despite everything else going on. Little man's having a pretty good week. He's been riding his bike like crazy, and I think he just likes the freedom of being out of the house. and letting the hair blow through, or the wind blow through his hair. And he's exploring the neighborhood a little bit more than he's ever been able to, because I'm like, he's almost 10. He can go around the block, you know. And he's really enjoying it, and he's loving his life right now. He hasn't even been on electronics at all for like 2 weeks, which is pretty miraculous for my kid. So I'm going to keep encouraging him to keep riding his bike, because he's loving it, and I'm loving that he's outside getting fresh air and exercise. Like I said, I will show you the flowers when they're done. I will post pictures probably in the Facebook group and definitely in the community tab here on the YouTubes, possibly on Instagram too. I will try to remember to link one lady's videos in particular. I watched the most of hers. She uses glassware like this to make bird feeders, the flowers. I'm trying to think of what else she has made. She got a bunch of cats and she lives by water. She's pretty interesting to watch her videos. I don't remember what the name of her channel is. I didn't follow her yet, but I probably will, because I really enjoyed doing this whole process. I don't know how these are gonna stand up long term, because they are kind of on the heavy side, but I mean, it's beautiful. And I was even thinking, instead of putting them on the post, you could get really big plate holders and like attach them to like the railing on your deck or whatever, or the side of your house. I mean, not my brand new siding and getting no holes in it, but you know what I'm saying. So with that, that's what we've been doing. I will see you guys tomorrow. Probably tomorrow's video will be Happy Mail, I think. Like I said, I got some cool stuff sent to me. And then sometime Wednesday or Thursday will be the tutorial for the Miss Libby shawl. And that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.